So next up for the little trio is one of my favourite notes in fragrance. It's not all that often used, which is a bit of a shame, but it's very much coming up to this time of year. We're still in winter, but soon to come is the lovely start of spring. And obviously, what do we associate spring with, apart from this wind is the lovely bright narcissus flower, more as we call it here in the UK, a daffodil. I like the narcissus because of the story of Narcissus, and this is what grew where he was, where he died, as a kind of lovely honour to him. But anyway, it tends to be, to me, it's like yellowy greeny floral. It can be yellow or green. It can have a little bit of gentle sweetness, or it can have like a gentle sharpness. It's a magnificent note, isn't it, really? My God, this never ends, does it? The stop start, because of the goddamn weather. But yeah, it's a beautiful note in the sense that I think, do real ones have a smell? Kind of. They tend to have a smell when you buy them from a shop, but not so much when you accidentally find them randomly and they accidentally get a bunch in your hand and you hide them under your coat and take them home. Although you do get a smell on your hand, don't you, I guess. But yeah, lovely, happy flower. I'm really odd in my, I mean, this is a by the by, it's boring. But I love sunflowers and I love daffodils, narcissus, both yellow, both happy sunshine flowers in real life, which is really quite not me, isn't it? Anyway, let's crack on. So for the indies, one called Liquid Dreams from April Aromatics. Now this is predominantly actually quite a sticky citrus. It's quite a sharp lemon. It's a lot of lemon, citrus. There might be grapefruit in there. There's some vetiver, but the main floral running through it is actually narcissus, and this is a kind of more yellowy green again, sharper narcissus, and it works nicely with the citrus, obviously. I think there might be some sort of benzoin or vanilla, something that just smooths it out a little, but not too much. And it is like actually smelling narcissus in there, and it adds a bit of gentle floral sweetness, and it's nice. And the whole fragrance kind of does smell this kind of yellowy, greeny, lovely. It's very fresh, it's very vibrant, and the sharpness actually in this one is something that really helps it, making it a more warm day one. There's not much else to say about this. I mean, I don't need to waffle on for the sake of it, but it's very natural smelling. It is like the citrus zests, and you've just squeezed the citrus. It's got that kind of true sharpness and kind of true flavour about it, and it's the same with the narcissus. They're not particularly strong and what have you, but they have that loveliness that you get from them, and it does make you, well, it would be perfect to wear on a hot day, but it does make you think of a kind of warm spring day with them waving in the winds, and you've got a citrus orchard. But yeah, it's a lovely one. That's Liquid Dreams from April Aromatics. Now for the niche is one I've spoken about many times, and it's one of my absolute favourites ever, really, and it's Fate Woman from Amouage. This is your kind of sort of vintage style one. It's got I think it's got cloves, and it's got lots of spices in there. It's also got lots of white flowers running through it, but the main kind of the main floral is the narcissus. Again, a beautiful it starts off more green and gets a little bit more yellow, and that kind of mixing with it all, just it's divine. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it takes you back to things like, it does remind me a little bit of cocoa and stuff, but there's obviously different notes, different flowers in that. And there might be a hint of rose in this one as well, which you don't smell the rose, but it gives that kind of, you know what I mean, that kind of roseness in there. But predominantly it is the narcissus and the spices and early on it's quite floral dominant, and as it dries down obviously the florals kind of fade away a bit, and it's, you know, it's amouagey, it's incensey, it's beautifully musky, but the narcissus kind of lingers all the way to the end, and that mixed with cloves creates something, well, it's just magical. It's one I've banged on about a lot and mentioned a lot, so I'll shut up. But that's Fate Woman from Amouage. Finally is the designer from Tom Ford, has Velvet Orchid. Now this one has a similarity, but it's not the same, it's not as dark etc as Black Orchid. I think the honey is what makes it majorly different, kind of that smooth silky nectariness running through it, and there is still a bit of booziness in that, and there's a whole plethora of florals, but that what sticks out is perhaps the narcissus and the hyacinth, giving it a kind of springy floral feel in there, which you can smell quite early on. But this is, it's one of them I wouldn't say you can sit and pick out the notes easily. It's an experience fragrance. There's lots of them all mixed in there, but it's a great one. It's I suppose it's what you could kind of call a kind of almost gothy narcissus. You know, it's dark, but it's friendly, it's not too much, like you know, daffodils in a graveyard kind of thing, with the hyacinth and all the other flowers, the orchids etc. Don't need to waffle on, we all know this fragrance. So from Tom Ford, Velvet Orchid. So yeah, nice little hopefully short and, well, probably not so sweet one. Don't need to say much more, do I? But it's good timing for the season. I can't believe I've not done it yet, or maybe I have. I probably have, knowing me. But yeah, one of my favourite flowers, my favourite florals, and it's certainly, when we start to see them, it's the end of the endless winter, isn't it? And they do cheer you up. And they do smell quite beautiful, don't they? I think my curse of speaking, calling to the wind gods and conjuring up winds every time I speak is just a nightmare. The wind never stops. Anyway, what's your favourite floral? What's your favourite spring floral? What makes you think, which flower makes you think of happy times? Do you have a favourite narcissus fragrance? Right folks, thanks, bye.